Effect. A phenomenon where large numbers of people remember something the same way. But when the evidence is checked, the memory is wrong, not slightly wrong, completely different. For some people, it is just a curiosity. For others, it raises a different question. If many minds share the same memory, how can they all be mistaken? Is memory unreliable? Or did something change? You may have seen one before. Maybe a logo, maybe a movie line, maybe a name. Something you remember clearly. But when you check the evidence, it is not the same. And once you notice it, you start seeing them everywhere. But the real question is not why it happens. The real question is much simpler. What do you remember?
This is Mr.Vartol.
This is Mr.Vartol.
This is Dark Story.
The Mandela Effect.
The Mandela Effect.
A phenomenon
With phenomenon.
where large numbers of people
Remember something.
the same way.
But when the evidence is checked,
The memory is wrong,
not slightly wrong.
completely different.
For some people,
For some people, it is just a curiosity.
for others,
For others, it raises a different question.
if many minds
Share the same memory. How can they all be mistaken?
is memory unreliable.
Or did something?
Change.
You may have seen one before.
Maybe a logo.
Maybe a movie line.
Maybe a name.
Something you remember.
Clearly,
But when you check,
the evidence
it is not the same. And once you notice it, you start seeing them everywhere, 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 everywhere. But the real question is not why it happens. The real question is much simpler. What do you remember?
This is Mr.Vartol.
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 Mr. Vartol.
This is 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 Mr. Vartol. 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 Vartol.
This is Mr. Vartol.
This is Mr. Vartol. This is Mr. Vartol.
This is Mr. Vartol.
This is Mr. Vartol.
This is Mr. Vartol.
This is Mr. Vartol.
This is Mr. Vartol.
Memory is not a recording. It does not store events exactly as they happened. Instead, your brain reconstructs them every time you remember. Most of the time, the differences are small, almost invisible, and you never notice. But sometimes, the difference becomes obvious. And that is where it begins. A large number of people remember the same thing, the same way. A logo, a movie line, a name, something simple.
Something familiar.
But when they check the evidence, the memory is wrong.
Not slightly wrong.
Completely different. And when that happens,
People ask the same question.
how can so many mothers remember the same mistake? Maybe you have seen one.
Before,
Maybe you remember it.
right now. Memory.
Is not a recording. It does not store events.
Exactly as they happened.
Instead, your brain,
Reconstructs them.
every time you remember,
Most of the time.
memory is not a recording.
It does not store events.
Exactly as they happened.
Instead,
Your brain
memory.
is not a recording.
Memory.
Is not a recording. Memory is not a recording.
Memory.
Is not a recording. Memory is not a recording.
Memory.
Is not a recording.
Memory.
Is not a recording.
Memory.
Memory
Memory.
is not a recording.
Memory.
is not a recording. Memory. Memory. Memory is not a recording.
Memory.
Memory. Memory. Memory.
Memory.
Memory.
Memory.
Memory. Memory.
Memory.
It's not a recording. Memory.
It's not a recording.
Memory. Memory. Memory.
It's not a recording.
Memory. Memory. Memory
Memory.
is not a recording.
Memory.
It does not store events. Memory. Memory. At first, people assume it is just a mistake. A simple failure of memory. But then, someone else remembers it the same way. Then another, and another. Hundreds. Thousands, sometimes millions, all remembering the same thing, the same way. To misremember. Appears, the memory is wrong. The logo was different. The line was never spoken. The spelling was never the same. But the memory remains clear. Maybe you remember it too. does not remain fixed. It does not stay. Unchanged. When you remember something, your brain reconstructs it.
Piece by piece,
Every detail,
every image,
every sound, rebuilt in the present moment. And when the memory is rebuilt, it can change.
Slightly.
Almost invisibly. Psychologists call this memory reconstruction. Each time a memory returns, the brain fills the gaps, corrects the fragments, adjusts the details, and once it is stored again, the new version becomes the memory. This means something important. The memory you trust may not be the original. It may be a reconstruction built many times over many years. And right now, while you listen, your brain is doing it again. Rebuilding, correcting, adjusting. This is Mr. Vartol. This is Dark Story. The Mandela Effect. recognize patterns, shapes, faces, words, connections, even when the information is incomplete. Your mind fills the gaps automatically, silently, instantly, without asking if it is correct. A missing letter. human brain. The 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 human brain.
The human brain.
The human brain is designed to recognize patterns, shapes, faces, words, connections, even when the information is incomplete. Your mind fills the gaps automatically, silently, instantly, without asking if it is correct. The human brain is a human. The human brain, a missing letter. A missing letter becomes a word. A missing letter becomes a word. A missing letter. The human brain. A missing letter. A missing letter. The human brain. A missing letter. A missing letter. The human brain.
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 A missing letter is designed to recognize patterns, shapes, faces, words, connections, even when the information is incomplete.
Your mind.
Fills the gaps automatically. Sadly, instantly,
Without you risking.
the human brain.
The human brain. The human brain. The human brain. The human brain.
A missing
The human brain. 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 The human brain.
a messy letter. A messy letter. A messy letter.
The human brain.
A messy letter. A messy letter.
The human brain.
A messy letter. A messy letter.
The human brain.
A messy letter. A messy letter. The human brain.
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 A messy letter.
Psychologist discovered something unexpected. Human memory can be influenced by suggestion. A simple question, a repeated idea, a small detail introduced at the right moment, and the brain accepts it as a memory. about events that never happened. A childhood memory, a moment that never existed. Yet after repetition, the mind accepted it. Participants described details, places, feelings. They were certain the memory was real, but the event never occurred. And this reveals something important. If suggestion can create a memory, then memory can be rewritten. And sometimes you don't notice when it changes. Researchers discovered something even stranger. False memories can be created. Not just small details, but entire events. Moments that never happened. Experiences that never existed. Yet when the memory is described, the brain begins to build it. Participants were told about events from childhood. A moment in a store, a day at the park, a situation that never occurred. At first, the subject hesitates. suggestion. The memory begins to form, images appear, details emerge, feelings attach themselves. And suddenly, the impossible memory feels real, which means something important. Your brain works the same way. Suggestion is enough. This is Mr. Vartol. This is Dark Story. The Mandela Effect.
Human identity is built from memory, the moments you remember, the places you recall, the experiences you believe happened. All of them form the story of who you are. But if memory changes, then the story changes. Suggested memory, adjust the narrative, quietly, slowly, almost invisibly. Something very simple. The person you believe you are is built from memories that may not be exact. And if the memories shift, then the identity shifts. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but gradually, over time, becoming something slightly different. understand the pattern? Memory is not fixed. It changes. It adapts. It reconstructs itself. Every time you remember, small details shift. Words change. Images adjust. And most of the time, you never notice. The Mandela Effect is not about one mistake. It is about many minds remembering something the same way. A logo, a name, a line from a film. Something you remember clearly. But when the evidence appears, the memory is wrong. Psychology explains how this can happen. Memory reconstruction, pattern recognition, suggestion, all of them quietly influencing what the mind believes to be true, which leads to a simple question. If memory can change, if memories can be influenced, if memories can even be created, then how certain are you that what you remember is exactly what happened? You don't remember the first time we talked about this.
Mr. Vartol. This is Dark Story. The Mandela Effect. For centuries, humans believed memory was reliable, that what we remember is what truly happened. But science tells us something different. Memories shift. Memories change. Memories can be influenced. And sometimes memories appear where no event ever existed. Which means something very simple. What you remember is not always what happened. Sometimes it is only what the mind reconstructed. During this story, you have listened carefully. You followed the explanations, the experiments, the questions. But something else was happening at the same time. Your mind was remembering images, images, images. Images, ideas, details, forming quietly inside your memory. And now, there's one final question. Not about the Mandela Effect. Not about psychology. But about you. Because if memories can change, and memories can be influenced, then how certain are you that the memory of listening to this will remain exactly the same tomorrow? This is Mr. Vartol. This is Dark Story. And if you remember this story again, next time, listen carefully. Because something may be different.